everyone. Today we're playing a little bit of Hogwarts Legacy. Honestly, I feel like this game has flown by at this point. It's been a wild ride, but despite all that it seems to have to offer, quest-wise and collectibles and such, I feel like in total I will have maybe 40 to 60 hours, and I'm already close to 30 hours of gameplay. Now, is that going to stop me from playing? No. It's too fun. I can't just drop it like that. That being said, I think it's about time we attend Beast class. And potentially check this out. But Beast class is going to be something that will help us progress the main story. That being said, we will need to do a good bit more on top of all of that to unlock the next trial. We're probably not going to reach it in this episode or the next, but we will get to it before too long. Now keep in mind, I am aiming for a 100% run, but I have learned a few things that I feel make it have a higher replay value. For example, your house actually affects the interactions you get with many of the students in the game. So that means I'm going to have to go back through all of this later on.
Revelio.
Now, I know there's something in this area. That's a level 2. Of course it is. Level 2. Ooh. Level 2. Is there anything here that isn't level 2? Nope. It's fine. I'm pretty close to what I need. To unlock level 2. That being said,
welcome, everyone. I see you've already met some of the many beasts we study in this class. Though be advised, none of these creatures should be taken lightly. They are all in their own way dangerous, especially if one does not know how to handle them properly.
I mean,
Now,
that's
it seems
any
many of you are
living
out
being.
of practice. Let's take some time
Fairly
to review the
certain.
basics of how to care for a beast, shall we? Miss Sweeting, would you please assist our new student with the lesson today?
Yes, Professor Howen. Hello, I'm Poppy Sweeting. Don't worry about Professor Howen's speech. She over-exaggerates sometimes. All the beasts in class are perfectly safe. Oh!
Miss Sweeting, pay attention, please. The tongue of a puffskein can be a slippery devil.
Yes, Professor. Here,
But it looks
you can
so
practice on Gerald.
sweet.
Just keep an eye out for his tongue.
It looks so cute and cuddly.
You can use my brush.
Adorable.
Just be gentle. Oh, and think pleasant thoughts. I like to think.
Hold on. Okay.
Just his experience. That's
Look at
lovely.
that adorable little fluff
I'm sure he
ball.
feels much better.
He's
I
adorable.
think he might be hungry. Would you mind giving him some beast feed? What do you suppose the
I
pellets
love
taste
it.
like to Gerald?
I love
Pudding,
it.
I like to think. I think we can safely say that Gerald likes you.
That's good news. He seems very nice.
He is. Kindness is one of his best qualities, right after ambition. And cleanliness.
Good work, everyone. Now, let's make our way to the pens and select another beast.
I love this
And
creature.
please, do be careful as you feed and groom them. Miss Sweeting, why don't you show our new student to the Neasels in the farthest pen?
Oh, that's a
This way.
new
The Neasels are
creature.
over here.
I have not encountered those. They look like house cats, but rather large. Slightly more muscular.
Couple of Neasel whiskers ought to get me a few canuts at least. Enough to buy something from Honeydukes. Stupid thing. Oh.
What in Merlin's name are you doing?
Tuss, peculiar Poppy. Worried about a worthless little rodent.
Her name is Persephone!
Her name is Persephone.
That's really
Oh my
not funny.
gosh. The most childish thing I've ever seen is mocking someone like that.
Let's go.
That also does not look like a rodent. Of any kind.
Those two don't belong anywhere near this class. Poachers in training. Persephone was onto them instantly. Thank you for your help. Let's carry on. Feed and brush the Neasels just as you did with Gerald. The Neasels really took to you. They know a good egg when they see one.
I'm an
As
egg?
do I.
Oh no.
It appears our time has
When
come
will I
to an
hatch?
end. Please close the pens and see yourselves out. Now, where is our new student?
Wait,
ah,
are
there
you
you
blind?
are. I would like a moment, please.
I think you would also like some glasses. You seem to need them.
Hello, Professor. You wanted to speak with me?
I did. How did you find your first beasts lesson?
It was wonderful. I believe I'm really going to enjoy this class.
Good.
They're adorable. I
You
love it.
seem to understand that when beasts are properly controlled, they can play a vital role in our lives. Some provide us with magically imbued materials, if cared for correctly, which does not include torturing them for whiskers. Well done, by the way. Probably best to let me handle it next time.
Yes, Professor.
They're nearly as bad as the Savagers in Rookwood's poacher pack. Sadly, we're the
What?
ones who suffer, stumbling over dead beasts.
Confusion.
Terrible waste of resources.
Surely the poachers can be brought to justice by someone. The Ministry, perhaps?
An optimistic idea. Now, why don't we focus on more immediate matters that we can control? Professor Weasley has asked that I prepare some assignments designed to help you catch up to the other 5th years. Be on the lookout for my owl. Meanwhile, I also encourage you to study as many beasts as you can on your own time.
Okay, I don't understand.
Over here.
Give me a moment, please. I don't understand why she acted as if I spoke out against them, because if anyone did, it was her. Not me. I said nothing. Peculiar way of handling that conversation, but oh well, whatever.
Do you need something, Poppy?
Thank you again for saying something to those brutes so that I didn't have to.
You did.
You were an augury at noon in the desert.
I certainly hope that's a good thing.
It's something my gran and I say. It means that something or someone is a welcome surprise. At least, that's what we decided it meant.
I couldn't stand there and watch them harm the poor thing.
We're of a similar mind. Actually, in light of that,
Did I say
someone
something?
I'd like
At
you
this
to
point,
meet
I feel like they're
in the
gaslighting me.
forest.
You've intrigued me. Very well. Lead the way.
I'd hoped I would. I wouldn't take just anyone there. In fact, you're the first.
Oh,
Really? Well, thank
Am
you.
I getting a date?
I think.
As I said, we
Never
think
gonna
alike.
happen.
Pleasant surprise.
Although anyone who loves animals is immediately
Quite the weather
great
we're
in my
having,
opinion.
Don't you think?
I will say
Poppy,
that.
where are you taking me?
It really is much better if I just show you.
Well,
Don't worry, we're nearly there. It's just ahead.
there goes my unasked question. Completely answered.
Stand back.
A hippogriff.
Please meet Highwing. Isn't she just magnificent?
Gorgeous.
Go on, introduce yourself to her. But be careful. You must always show hippogriffs the proper courtesy before you approach them. I knew it. I don't think I've ever seen a hippogriff take to someone this quickly.
I must
You can feed and brush her if you'd
pet.
like.
I must
I come
pet.
and check on her every once in a while. Bring her
Looks so
pasties,
beautiful.
tell her what's going on in the castle. You wouldn't know from looking at her, but she's a dreadful busybody.
Pasties? I assume you're referring to pastries? As in, like, baked sweets? You know, sometimes I gotta eat food 2 bites at a time as well. No judgment here. Okay, so far, she's my favorite character.
So, what did you think of Highwing?
Gotta love the people who enjoy animals. You just got to.
I thought she was brilliant. Can't believe you introduced me to her.
I suspected you two might get along.
Are you the reason students have been seeing hippogriffs flying above the Forbidden Forest?
Perhaps. Did you know that once you earn a hippogriff's trust, they'll always be there for you? I've seen it firsthand with her.
How exactly did you and Highwing cross paths?
It's a longer story, but I rescued her from poachers a few years back. Got her to safety and, well, she was fine until recently. You may have noticed that poachers are something of a problem in the area,
Yup.
so I worry they could get her again. and I might not be there next time.
Professor Howin mentioned the poachers as well. She seemed to imply that we couldn't rely on the Ministry to help.
I don't often agree with Professor Howin, but on that, I fear she's right. The poachers' influence is growing. I see them every day in the village, lingering, talking to people. They're up to something. I'm just not sure what.
That does seem strange. Sounds as if they're planning something.
Exactly.
Wait,
I think I'm going to look into
why
it. Find out
did
what's
I...
going on. What they're doing.
I mean, the second option of dialogue was actually very correct. But I have encountered plenty of them. I've seen the creatures in cages. Yes, something is up, definitely, but her reasoning and evidence were inconsequential.
I think that's a fine idea. Information is power.
And the more I know, the better I can keep Highwing safe.
You seem undeterred. Will you let me know what you find out?
Oh, very well. I will. I should be going, but we'll speak again soon, I hope.
Okay, she is my favorite character in this game. Simply for the fact that she loves animals. I mean, any person who loves animals and actually shows some sort of proper bond with them rather than, oh, they're just animals or pets, is immediately someone I would enjoy hanging out with. For example, if I cannot, without being judged, obsess over how adorable a kitten is, I don't think I want to interact with you. If it's cute, it's cute. That's just the way it is. And anyone who says that kittens are not cute, go to the liar's corner. Now. That being said, we've got more quests that we need to take care of. The Helm of Urtkot? I guess that's an option. What? Oh, that's... Yeah, they're cat-like. They're not rodents. Oh, I would love that. I would love having one of those as a pet. They would make for determining who is good to have as friends so easy. Not to mention, look at it. It just looks so fuzzy and regal. But it's also big enough that it could provide protection for the home. It's perfect. These little guys are oddly cute. Although I would not like having one around because I would have to protect my shinies. That would be a challenge. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I want one of these. Except, I don't want it sticking its tongue up my nose. Some of these are You know, that's the opposite of every parakeet ever. Every parakeet that I have ever seen has been obsessively noisy. It's as if they can just never shut up. And while I do love birds, that is one of the reasons why I personally cannot raise them. They are way too loud for me to handle. Now, does that mean I hate them in any way? No, no. Every responsible pet owner or just every responsible person in the field of animals, not as a job, but like in respect of animals, will understand their limitations before attempting to place themselves in an environment with such animals. 700 meters away, good grief. But, that being said, not everyone is the best with interacting with animals, or understanding their limitations with animals. That's a really troublesome thing that a lot of people just overlook. For example, if you cannot handle a energetic or loud dog, don't get that kind of dog. It's relatively simple. If you cannot handle keeping a pet clean, your best bet would be to get... Huh? Well, as I was saying, if you cannot handle a pet that requires constant cleaning, I highly recommend a pet that cleans itself.
Hello there, nice to see you.
For example, one of the easiest pets to take care of is a cat. They're independent.
Folks still talk about you taking down that troll in the village circle. You certainly made an impression.
And you only have to clean occasionally. Maybe once to 3 times a week. Unless, of course, they get sick. The thing is, a lot of people do not understand that cats value their independence. So, you can't really force a cat to act a certain way. Doing so will only worsen any behaviors. They will just associate you with fear, and
Hello, Miss Ryan.
the problem's just worse.
I wanted to thank you again for your help with Rookwood and Harlow the day of the troll attack.
Serona, please. And I was happy to help. Oh, those two are nothing but trouble. Glad you and your friend were here when they found you.
I am too. You were speaking to a goblin here that day.
Oh, that's the
Yes,
goblin I
Lodgok.
was supposed to speak to.
He's a friend.
It seems as though you were on good terms with him.
I've known him for years. We met when I was waiting tables here as a student, well before I bought the place. He was cordial enough, but we weren't friends then. His mistrust of wizard kind ran deep.
But you're friends now.
We are. Hadn't seen him in years when he came in a few months ago. But he recognized me instantly, which is more than I can say for some of my own classmates. Took them a second to realize I was actually a witch, not a wizard. Not all goblins are like Ranrock and his loyalists. Lodgok is as worried as the rest of us about what's been going on.
In that case, I'd like to talk with him, about Ranrock in particular. Where might I find him?
I assume your interest is to do with the rumors I've heard about Ranrock working with our friend Rookwood.
It is.
If he's not here, you might find him doing business at the Hog's Head. He's a trusted metal trader. You should mention that we spoke. He can, understandably, be wary of witches and wizards, even ones as young as you. That said, if you're looking for information on Ranrock to help rein him in, you'll find an ally in Lodgok.
You seemed unfazed by Rookwood and Harlow the other day. They don't scare you.
They're bullies. Plain and simple. Never tolerated them in my own life, and certainly won't tolerate them going after my friends. Don't misunderstand me.
A good mindset.
They're dangerous wizards and shouldn't be trifled with. They should, however, be confronted and reminded, whenever possible, that the rest of us have each other's backs.
Well said. I cannot deny that.
Have you heard what Ranrock and Rookwood are working on together?
Not much more than the fact that they seem to have some sort of uneasy alliance. Friendship between wizards and goblins is rare enough, but between those two, they each want something the other has. I can guarantee it. That said,
definitely.
I fear they're like a two-headed serpent. Both will need to be taken down to stop whatever scheme they've been plotting.
Thank you, Sirona.
If you find Lodgok, please give him my best. I don't know what you've done to make such powerful enemies, but please, watch your back.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be fine. Wait a moment. There is a chest somewhere up here. I wonder if I can get to it now. That's the exit. Could have swore I saw a dot implying that I could
Hello, Hamura.
interact. A little trick about this. They always follow. The card. They always follow 8 directions. Up, down, left, and
do we
right,
have here?
and then diagonal.
A demiguise.
Ooh. I've been needing to catch one of you.
Revelio.
Alright, we're gonna take care of this and
Mine now, demiguise.
now about Sirona. I am unclear if Sirona is supposed to be a trans character or just a deep-voiced woman. I have no clue. I won't deny the first time I encountered her while playing, I was caught off guard. Simply for the voice.
Goblins ourselves.
Good to see you outside the castle.
Disgusting, if you ask me.
You too, Amit.
I have a terrible
Now,
tools or do work of any
I
kind.
will say I'm rather glad that they're
Not a day goes by I don't wish
showing more characters for trans community and all of that.
Oh, the work it takes to keep
And in this case, I would say it is one of the better.
Welcome to the Og's Head. Any empty seat is yours.
I would say that this is one of the better implementations of such characters because a
Can I help you with
lot
something?
of media will make a huge fuss over it. Chill out. I'll get to you in a moment. a lot of media would make a huge fuss like, oh, this character is this, that, and this, and spend a whole 5 to 10 minute moment explaining it all and completely derailing the story from that moment. But Sirona was introduced as just another character. Things went smoothly. It's left for you to fill in the details and such, so I feel like that's a rather good implementation because, you know what, let me do this so that's not bothering me. I feel like that's a rather good implementation because it's more accurate to real life. If you meet someone who's trans, they're not going to give you their whole story. You're more than likely going to just witness them in public and go about your day. It shouldn't be treated any different than just meeting a straight person who is not trans or any other person. It's just a person. That's what I love about the implementation here. It's not made out to be something special or bigger than it really should be. And yes, I know I went on a little rant here, but sometimes that's how I like to do things, okay? There are certain details that I like to speak about in a game, and that, I feel like, was implemented very well. Especially since there's not just one, I am highly assuming in this matter that Sirona is of the LGBTQ community, or is it, no, it's LGBT, not, the Q is no longer in it. I completely forgot about that. I'm assuming Sirona is a representation of said community. That may not be the case, but this game does represent said community with a few characters, and it does so smoothly without like shoving it in your face like some sort of agenda, and I highly appreciate that. Because yes, everyone deserves their representation, but it should not be like forced into someone's view. It should be a natural representation, and that's what this game has done. For example, if you see a straight person, they're not going to go up to you and constantly say, yes, I'm straight, and remind you constantly. And I don't think any other person should have to remind you of something like that. And no, this is not me speaking out in any negative way. This is my opinion on the representation, because it makes it seem more natural, which I feel helps the representation more. If you want it to be accepted, it should be viewed as a natural and what's the word I'm looking for? Not smooth, but it could fit. Simply put, this game did very well with representation of the LGBT community. And I am quite happy with them for that. The story so far is rather fun, although I will give a few criticisms here, since the story itself has at times been a little too predictable, but you can't have constant plot twists, otherwise people will never know what the story is supposed to be about. I honestly love this game, and I really think it is I won't say a masterpiece, because there are a few glitches and such that are an issue, but I will say that it is in my top 5 current favorite games. I love it, and I thoroughly hope that anyone watching is truly enjoying the series, because I just love it, and the whole aspect of being able to put yourself into the world of Harry Potter is something that I dreamed of as a kid. I always loved reading the novels and watching the movies. I read all the books well before I even knew that there were, like, movies being made about them. I loved it. It's a wonderful series, and to be able to have a game where you create your own character, place yourself into the story, although not the story of Harry himself, but the world that he lives in, is very fun. You learn so much about the creatures of the world, the people, the spells, all of it. It's so fun to play this game. That being said, I have went well over my time for this video. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and have a wonderful day. Until next time, everyone.